So you got some money for the holidays, and instead of splurging, you decided to increase your net worth by buying more stocks. This is my top 3 stocks for 2021 and beyond. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Lowell Sala once again of NYC Emerging Healthcare Technology, your go-to place if you want to learn more about blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, and web development in healthcare, and also if you want to learn more about digital health. But before I do that, I would just want to greet everyone wherever you're in the world. Happy New Year! It's a brand new year, everyone! Alright, so before I begin, just some caveats and some notes. If you like free stocks, make sure to read the link in the description down below when you open a new account via your Robinhood account. And the second thing that I want to discuss is that just a reminder for everyone here that these videos are for entertainment purposes and not financial advice, and are just meant to bring attention to the companies which you might be interested in. And the next one is that all stocks that I will be talking about are mostly in the biomedical field, because this is the field that I'm currently in right now. And then some of the stocks here are penny stocks, hence they are very volatile and they have high risk. So make sure to do your due diligence and your own research when purchasing these stocks that I'm recommending. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you will be able to hear and see every time I upload new videos and new contents. Alright, so the first stock that I'm going to talk about is Palatine Technologies. The ticker for this one is PTN. As you can see here right now, it's trading at 0.78, high to about 1.417 as of December 29, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I like this stock so much, and later on I'm gonna discuss what the company is doing and what it is. So but from an analyst perspective, they are recommending a moderate buy based on 2 analyst rating. The target price for this one is about $2.50, and then the upside is around 220.51. So this is based on 2 analysts offering a 12-month price target for in the last 3 months, and the average target is 2.5 with the highest forecast, as I mentioned, 2.5, and the highest forecast is 3, and the low forecast of 2. So the average target represents a 220.51% increase from the last price of 0.78. In terms of market capitalization, the company is 179.32 million. And we always before this is just the analyst rating, but I really want to talk about what the company is actually doing, and what is it all about in terms of what it does to society, what it does to treating diseases, and more than, of course, your earnings or your profit margins. So Palatine Technologies, its ticker is PTN, is a specialized biopharmaceutical company developing first-class medicine-based molecules that modulate the activity of the melanocortin and natriuretic peptide receptor systems. When I see the word natriuretic peptide, I always think about what's this? Kidneys. We talk about heart failure. We talk from a medical perspective, of course. And the product that they are doing is actually one of their lead products is known as Vyleesi, and the generic or the trade name is bremelanotide, which is used specifically for the treatment of premenopausal women with acquired generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder. So the product Vyleesi was approved by the FDA in June 2019, and it's now marketed in North America by the trade name or by the product or the name Palatine. So they have licensed also Chinese rights to Shanghai and Korean rights, and there's also development of drug candidates for ocular and inflammatory diseases, heart failure, and fibrosis. So all this is actually seen in I use their company profile from www.palatine.com, so you can also do your research on your own if you like purchasing this company. So in terms of their pipeline, what drugs that are in their pipeline, so this is the first one I was telling you about, the Vyleesi. So it is used for the treatment of hypoactive sexual desire disorder, and it's currently already FDA approved as of June 2019. They also have other other products in line. The first one is for the dry eye disease. It's currently in phase 2. I remember, when I rotated in ophthalmology, one of the main challenges that we have is, diagnosing patients with dry eye disease. So it's really a good market if you think about it. And also they're doing the PL8177 MC1R agonist, which is used for COVID-19. Later I'm going to discuss a little bit more on that one. And then they also have a drug for diabetic retinopathy, but it's still currently in the preclinical level. But you have to understand that if you look at it from a market perspective, diabetes is very good. There are a lot of people who have diabetes globally. So treat a drug for diabetic retinopathy would really booster their company. And also they have a drug which is an oral drug for use for inflammatory bowel disease. And in terms of this is what I was telling you about, a natriuretic peptide. When I hear the word, the natriuretic peptide receptor, I always think of heart failure, and because this is coming from the medical doctor in me. And they have a drug for cardiovascular disease, and they also have a drug for cardiovascular and fibrotic disease. And currently it's in phase 1, and the cardiovascular and fibrotic disease is currently preclinical. So what is the PL8117 for COVID-19? So it is an agonism of the melanocortin-1 receptor, or the MC1R. It has been demonstrated in animal models to protect against lung fibrosis and profibrotic conditions, which provide organ protection in pro-inflammatory cytokine levels. So we all know, for example, that when you have COVID, there's this massive inflammation that's happening. So it is hypothesized that, based on their studies, that an MC1R agonist may be of utility in treating COVID patients with cytokine storm, ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and lung fibrosis. So PL1, this is one of the drugs that they are evaluating for multiple preclinical inflammatory disease models. And then Palatin, for example, also discussions with BARDA, which has received a feedback from the FDA on a submitted pre-IND briefing package, and they're currently preparing to initiate the phase 2 study for COVID-19 patients. And in terms of the environment for conducting COVID-19, is rapidly evolving, and the initiation of the phase 2 study is potentially dependent on access to third-party funding and clinical trial resources, and the status of COVID vaccine and therapeutic developments. So the next company, the next company, the next stock that I'm going to talk about is known as Translate Bio stock. So in terms of its analyst rating consensus, it is a strong buy based on 5 analyst ratings. If you look at this, I got this from tipranks.com, so you can actually Google and search for this yourself. In terms of target price, so right now it is at $19.50 as of December 29, down for about 4.505% as of December 29, 4 p.m. And in terms of its target price, based on 5 analysts offering 12 months, so this is a year, targets for Translate Bio in the last 3 months. The average price target is $3 with a high forecast of 37 and a low forecast of 21. So it's a lot higher than the price that it is right now. So the average price target represents 53.85% increase from the last price of 19.5. And in terms of market capitalization, because it's also very important, you have to understand how big it is. So it's 1.45 billion. So it's actually quite good, and based on the 5 analysts rating, it is a good strong buy. And so let's look at what Translate Bio does, and what its corporate profile is. So Translate Bio is a leading mRNA therapeutics company which develops a new class of potentially transformative medicines, and their proprietary is the mRNA therapeutic platform, or the mRTTM, which is designed to develop product candidates to deliver mRNA carrying instructions to produce intracellular, transmembrane, secreted proteins for therapeutic benefit. They believe that the TTM platform is applicable to a broad range of diseases caused by insufficient protein production, where the production of proteins can modify disease. And the lead program for this is for cystic fibrosis, which is currently in the phase 1/2 clinical trials in patients with CF. So beyond CF, the primary focus of the research is really evaluation of targets and additional pulmonary diseases. And additionally, the MRTTM platform may be applied to various classes of treatments, such as therapeutic antibodies or vaccines in areas such as oncology, and because right now we have COVID, right? So especially in infectious diseases. So in the latter case, they actually have a collaboration with Sanofi Pasteur to develop mRNA vaccines for all infectious disease pathogens, including the COVID, which is a novel coronavirus. In terms of their pipeline, so this is what they're actually doing. In terms of the focus area for lung, for example, they have cystic fibrosis, for example. They are currently in the phase 1 and 2, the MRT-5005, and another one for still in the discovery section, and in the discovery phase. And then you also have your idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. They also, so this is what the vaccines, in terms of vaccines and infectious diseases, they have the MRT-5005, which they work in collaboration with Sanofi Pasteur for COVID. They also have one for influenza. They also have one for a viral and a bacterial pathogen. And so we want to delve in more on the MRT-5005, which is the first clinical mRNA product candidate designed to address underlying cause of cystic fibrosis by delivering mRNA, including fully functional cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator protein. So this is actually used to treat all patients with CF and their underlying genetic mutation, including those with limited or no CFTR proteins. So if you look closely at their history, in 2015, the FDA actually granted their orphan drug designation. And in 2018, they initiated the first human randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial designed to evaluate safety and tolerability of MRT-5005. And in 2019, there was announced interim results summarizing the single ascending dose portion of the clinical trial. So the multiple ascending dose is currently ongoing, and the trial is being conducted in collaboration with the Cystic Fibrosis Therapeutics Development Network. And in terms of its infectious disease section, which is one, very, you probably heard a new variant strain right now in the UK, and actually in the US we already have one. And actually also in the Philippines we already have one. So they're currently working with Sanofi to produce mRNA vaccines for infectious diseases pathogens. And one of the platform is really to discover, design, and manufacture the SARS-CoV vaccine candidates. So they have established 100-gram first batch, single batch, with their clinical stage mRNA therapeutics platform. And they've also dedicated a manufacturing space through a contract manufacturing partner with potential to accommodate 250-gram single batch mRNA production. And depending on the final human dose, the mRNA platform has excellent promise to meet the future demands of a pandemic response. And they're anticipating to enter to the clinical stage by the first quarter of 2021. So if this holds true, then you can see the price will actually increase. The stock price will actually increase. And of course, the last one that I'm really excited because, it's a little expensive in a way. That's not really a penny stock. It's one of the, big companies out there. Currently, it's 37.05. So I remember, I think it was during, when was that again? I think it was during March, the pandemic started. Pfizer stocks were actually very low. They were like 28. In terms of valuation, I digress again. So in terms of valuation, the analyst consensus for this one is moderate buy based on 12 analysts 12 analysts ratings. So the offering for Pfizer, the average price target is 41.83, which is an upside of 12.90%, and which is from the target from the last price of 37.05. But it has a high forecast of 453, and currently, of course, right now they're already giving they're already using they're just shipping all their vaccines, and some already got their vaccines, so it is a low forecast of purchase. So there's really, I think Pfizer in general is really, I mean, at least for me, there's really no there's no question about Pfizer, investing in Pfizer, for example. It in terms of its market capitalization as well, if you look at it, it's 205.94 billion. And just to look at what the company is actually doing, if you go to Pfizer.com, for example, you'll see that they have a lot of pipeline drugs, but I want to focus more on the Pfizer biotech and COVID-19 vaccine, which has not been approved by the FDA, but has been authorized for emergency use under the emergency use authorization to prevent COVID-19 for use in individuals 16 years and older. So the emergency use of this product is only authorized for the duration of the declaration of the circumstances existing justifying the authorization of emergency use of the medical product under Section 564 of the FDA Act, unless there's declaration of termination. And what I want to focus on is this as well. If you look at Pfizer, for example, and biotech to supply, they'll also be supplying the European Union with 100 million additional dose of Comirnaty. And just to mention some of the things that that's happening, as I mentioned, so the Pfizer biotech vaccine is authorized under emergency use authorization for active immunization to prevent COVID-19 caused by the severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS-CoV, in individuals 16 years and older. So it's mostly for adults. So at least for now. So this is one thing that I wanna emphasize on. And the second one why I really like, actually bought shares for Pfizer, is the fact that it gives out dividends. More than, of course, their social impact, their social helping communities. They also give dividends for their stockholders. So the dividend yield, at least for January 28, 2021, would be 4.08%, and actually got already this other two. I specifically wanted to add this one because this is like the list of their their dividend history. So as you can see, from a dividend perspective, then this is really not just a good stock, of course, that you can try to accumulate on, because so that you don't have to you only get your income, for example, from the dividends, which is actually quite high for a pharmaceutical company.